All right, guys, welcome to the MMA Fight Game podcast. I'm super excited to have this rising athlete in the amateur scene around the Buffalo, New York, Western New York region. Josh Reichardt, fighting out of Buffalo United, has a massive fight, making his return actually to the MMA cage after a little jaunt in K1. He's fighting Skylar Nothing on October 28th, 2023. There'll be no pissing match in this interview, to be straight up, just talking about MMA and combat sports in general. Josh, thanks for joining us. How are you?
Great. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know we had to get this interview in before the big day in the National Football League. What game you got on as soon as you get off with us?
I don't know. That's tough. So I got to look at my fantasy football lineup, see who's playing, where most of my starters are, and go from there. I'm actually going to go watch the games with my girlfriend's dad, so that'll be interesting.
Oh, getting nice with the girlfriend's dad. That's always good. What does he think of his daughter dating a mixed martial artist? You're cut out, bud.
So, yep, it's going to be interesting. So we'll see.
I love it. So you had some kickboxing. You had some kickboxing bouts. You had a Muay Thai fight. The first time I met you was actually back at the K4 event where you were in April 29th of 2023. You were doing Muay Thai. You kind of dabbled with Andres Quiroz from Jiu-Jitsu Elite, Kevin Hickson kickboxing. Why now are you coming back in the MMA scene?
Mainly just because of all the smack talk and build up going up to this fight. So I fought Skylar's teammate. There was a lot of back and forth there. We had a little scrummage backstage, not specifically with Skylar, but with his brother. And then just the internet beef, it's been building up. So ideally, I'd like to focus on Muay Thai and K1, but I'll go back to MMA to go kind of shut them up a little bit, show them that, what real fighters are like. And then I'm going to go back to Muay Thai K1, try to chase the title.
So are you going to bounce like back and forth for a while between K1 and K4 after you get this grudge match taken care of down at K4 on the 28th of October?
Yeah, probably. We'll see how everything materializes. There's a lot of opportunities out there, so I'm going to go what's best for me, but I feel like my skill set's well-rounded enough to go from Muay Thai and then so I have a good wrestling base, good jiu-jitsu base. I'm comfortable with my striking, so it's just trying to add more tools to the toolbox, and wherever opportunity arises, I'm going to go for it.
I love it. What's your background? Did you wrestle in high school?
I did. So I wrestled from middle school all through high school. Didn't wrestle in college. So after that, I got into MMA, trained a little bit. I had a wrestling heavy style, kickboxing style. Once I got comfortable with the striking, I transitioned to jiu-jitsu. I realized there were some holes in my game. So I'm pretty well-rounded now.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. So what caused this bad blood between I know you guys got in a altercation backstage. What caused that, and who was it with?
I don't know what started it. So I think they misinterpreted something that was said in my post-fight interview. His brother didn't like what I said for whatever reason. He pressed me, emotions got high, we got separated, and then there's been a lot of back and forth on social media. I think how it all started was the announcer was asking me in my interview if the beef was done. I said yes, because at the time, I think his brother and head coach was calling me out. And I was like, no, I don't want to fight him because he has less than a couple fights and I didn't want to wear headgear. So I said I didn't want to wear the diaper on my head, referring to the headgear. And I think he misinterpreted that for like his haircut or something. So I think that's where it all started. I'm not sure, but my mom got dragged into it, and that's just not okay to me. And then on top of that, just all the disrespect to the local area pros and just all the ignorant talk. Like I don't know, someone's got to shut him up, and I'm glad it's me.
So he had some disrespect to the area pros, because there's a big fight card this week over at LFA at Seneca Naga where, John Piersma, Liam Anderson, Musa Abdina is going to be there as well. What was that disrespect?
I think he said that he could submit like a local pro fighter in a black belt. And I just think that's hilarious, because if you look at any of the stuff he posts on his training page, things like that, his technique is, horrible. On top of that, his only 2 submission wins are versus a guy that has never grappled a day in his life. So it's like, who are you going to sit here and call out pros who have black belts who own their own academies saying that you're gonna submit them in the first round or something. Like it's delusional.
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
know.
I
Oh,
know
sorry.
John Piersma would take that without a doubt.
Oh yeah, and I'm actually really excited for his fight. He came and watched one of my fights on King of the Cage a few years back. I hung out with him after. I'm really excited for his rise. His jiu-jitsu is great. I saw his grappling match versus Lovato, and
Yeah.
Lovato best black belts in the world. So to go toe to toe with that guy, I believe it ended in like a draw or something. Like it shows that he's got some really good skills.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. He's fighting Rashad Evans, godson Devin Smith, who's a former Dana White Contender Series athlete. When you started your amateur mixed martial arts career, you fought two tough dudes right out of the gate. Obviously, they didn't go your way, but fighting, Mikey Bernard from Bone MMA and DeAndre Porter, what did
Mhm.
that do to help you grow as a mixed martial artist?
Honestly, it really helped me develop my jujitsu. So I fought both those guys early on in my career. I had the wrestling base. If you watch those fights back, I took both those guys down. I felt pretty comfortable with my striking. I was training kickboxing for a while, and they just exploited two holes in my game. I felt like I just made two little mistakes that they helped me tighten up. And after all that, like it really kind of put my nose to the grindstone to like kind of emphasize those little details, like where's my hand, where's my posture, identifying those early situations where I could counter those moves versus kind of just sitting there being like, okay, I don't really got to be worried about this. So it helped me out with my mental game a lot, actually. So it was a good experience.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, looking at amateur records and things like that, honestly, it doesn't matter until you get to that next level. I've said it time and time again. It's about learning, growing, to become a better, mixed martial artist. Rather make those mistakes or learning things now than versus the pro when there's tens, thousands of dollars, on the line.
Exactly.
Yeah. What are your expectations for October 28th at the Buffalo Riverworks with K4?
First round finish. I'm toying with the idea. He keeps insulting my ground game, so I really want to just take him down to the ground. I would like to submit him. I feel like I could beat him anywhere. I have a few people asking me to TKO him, so maybe just pop him in the mouth a few times, or maybe I'll just head kick, knock him out, just like my teammate did too when he fought Isaiah. So I haven't really decided yet, but I definitely want to showcase some of my ground game because he keeps disrespecting it. So I want to show him, what actual jujitsu and wrestling's like.
Yeah, absolutely. One piece of advice is that, like Aljo said, Aljamain Sterling, he was victim. He goes, I want to entertain the crowd. I would stick to your game plan regardless. Are you guys the main event for K4?
I'm not sure. I probably not. He likes to kind of lately he's been putting pro fights on. I don't know what their bouts have materialized right now. We'll definitely be high up on there on the card. Usually I saw a lot of tickets, so I get a good fan base. And then with this one being advanced rules MMA with the build up, I could see us being like one of the top three fights, but I don't know if he's got pros or title fights on the card just yet.
Gotcha.
I'm
And that's Keith, right?
Yeah. So he's my head coach, but he doesn't give me really any of the inside details. I'll always be asking him, I'm like, hey, when you get to announce more fights, who else is fighting? So I hear like a little bit of rumors from other people being like, oh yeah, I got offered this guy, or this is my opponent, but he keeps a lot of that stuff under wraps. He doesn't like to have like any bias or favoritism in there. He actually doesn't even corner his team for the card. So
Yeah, I definitely get that. Yeah, Keith and K Man, they're all OGs over there at K4. Before I let you go, what were your thoughts on last night? I know we went back and forth a couple of times about ticket prices when UFC 295 ticket prices went out. What was your thinking with Israel Adesanya and his performance last night? Do you think anything was going on with that?
I don't know what his problem was, but he was just on his bike the whole time. He was moving laterally. Um, he just fought like he looked like he was fighting a point fight versus Strickland. He's like just walking him down and just throwing ones and twos. Like Sean had a very simple game plan, and I'm really surprised Izzy kind of let him bully him like that. So I know Sean's a striker, but I felt Izzy was the more like technical striker. So I figured his feints and everything were going to work great, especially because Sean has like that outside parry style. I'm like, oh, he gets a feint, he'll be able to land a hook or something. But yeah, it was a really good fight, exciting. I like the striking matchup, but I'm surprised Izzy just let him back him up the whole 5 minute or 5 rounds.
Yeah, it's interesting to see because some people online were saying, it looks like he was out of shape, he was hurt.
Mhm.
So you're one of the guys that actually get into the cage and really throw down. Did you see anything like that?
I didn't see. He didn't look like he was hurt. He was moving a lot, so I don't know. He looked like he had the cardio too, but maybe his game plan just sucked. I don't know. I'm even surprised he didn't mix up the grappling. Like Sean was very upright, and I understand he's got a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but when you're down, take him down, land some ground and pound, change it up. He didn't even attempt to do anything different. And that's what surprised me. So maybe he just didn't take him seriously, or maybe his head's big. He's beating everyone else in the division, but he also could just be getting old and slowing down.
Could be, or they also made a point that he could be overtrained. He needs to take a break. He made noise that he wants to be on UFC 300, but DC said probably take until the summer off, to get back.
Yeah, it could be ability. I don't really. Yeah. I don't know what his training camp stuff's like, but he's pretty active. So.
Yeah. And what do you think of those Madison Square Garden prices for Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic?
I ain't paying $1,000 for nosebleed. I mean, you're going to see the GOAT. It's probably the biggest heavyweight fight in UFC history. Jon Jones is saying he's probably going to retire, so I get it. But for $1,000, and I'm gonna have to bust out the binoculars. I'm watching it at home. So,
yeah, I don't blame you. There's a reason why guys like Keith, guys like Bubba over at Full Contact Promotions, they don't put professional MMA bouts on, if ever, because of the pure cost to do professional bouts in mixed martial arts.
Oh, the insurance is insane. Yeah, one of the things, Keith, I asked him about it. He said, for amateurs, it's one blanket insurance, but for pros, it's a set price per bout. So the more pro bouts you have, the more expensive it is, versus amateur, where it's just a whole grouped in price, no matter how many fights you have. So.
Yeah, and your training camp started for this fight on October 28th, right?
Yep, I started I always trained, but I really ramped it up and stopped or I shouldn't say cutting corners, but I'm training 5 days a week. I'm in my cardio routine, my diet that started September 1st, so I'm a little over a week into it. But even outside of camp, I still train pretty consistently, 3 days a week. I'll at least run 2 days a week. Now I'm just 5-6 days a week, sparring every week, running 4 days, the whole nine. So
yeah, awesome, man. I can't wait. I think I'm going to make it out to that fight on the 28th to see you guys scrap. I did see the big pissing match on another podcast that you did. I'm excited. I'm definitely excited to see your evolution. Again, you're fighting October 28th with K4 fighting at the Buffalo Riverworks, which is a pretty cool venue in downtown Buffalo. I really appreciate your time before football starts. Go Bills, all right?
Yep, thanks for having me. Go Bills. On 300 yards, we're blowing the Jets out.